What if humanity's greatest knowledge was destroyed in a single night? Scientific theories, medical breakthroughs, ancient wisdom written by the most brilliant minds of the ancient world, gone without a trace. But what if it wasn't just a fire? What if someone wanted it to disappear? This is not just the story of a lost library. This is the story of what we may never get back, and what we were never meant to find. To understand what was lost, we need to go back in time, over 2,000 years, to the city of Alexandria, Egypt. It was here, along the shores of the Mediterranean, that the greatest repository of human knowledge was built, the Library of Alexandria. Founded by Ptolemy I, a general under Alexander the Great, the goal was ambitious, to collect every written work from across the known world. Scholars gathered texts from Greece, Egypt, India, Mesopotamia, even distant China. Mathematics, medicine, astronomy, philosophy, religion, all stored in a single place. It wasn't just a library. It was humanity's first attempt at global knowledge preservation, a hub for discovery, debate, and progress. Some estimates say the collection held over 700,000 scrolls. But today, not a single one remains. So what happened? How did the greatest collection of human knowledge vanish so completely? History doesn't offer one simple answer. Instead, it gives us fragments. Moments of fire, moments of war, moments of silence, and theories, each more unsettling than the last. One of the earliest comes from 48 BCE. Julius Caesar, locked in a civil war against Pompey, arrived in Alexandria. During battle, Caesar set fire to his enemy's ships in the harbor. That fire, according to ancient sources like Plutarch, spread to the docks, and then to the great library itself. Thousands of scrolls may have gone up in flames, not as a target, but as collateral damage in a Roman war. But that may have only been the beginning. Centuries later, as Christianity rose to dominance in the Roman Empire, religious tensions boiled over. Pagan temples were destroyed. Philosophical schools were shut down. In 391 CE, the Serapeum, a temple believed to house what remained of the library, was ordered destroyed by Bishop Theophilus. Many believe this act marked a second wave of loss, not accidental this time, but ideological. Then in the 7th century, a final account emerged. During the Muslim conquest of Egypt, a general reportedly asked Caliph Omar what to do with the remaining scrolls. Omar's reply, according to legend, was chilling. If they agree with the Quran, they are unnecessary. If they disagree, they are heretical. Destroy them all. Historians debate the truth of this quote. Some say it was fabricated later to assign blame, but the result is the same. Nothing survived. And yet, many scholars believe the loss wasn't a single catastrophe. It was slow, it was deliberate, a quiet erasure of knowledge, piece by piece over centuries. That's not just tragic, that's suspicious. The fires may be fortifiés, the ruins buried, but the question still echoes through time. What exactly did we lose? The Library of Alexandria wasn't just a collection of stories and poems. It was a vault of progress, a snapshot of how advanced humanity might have been, far earlier than we think. Some scrolls are believed to have contained detailed knowledge of surgery and medicine gathered from Egyptian and Indian traditions. Descriptions of complex procedures, surgical tools, and herbal treatments that rival some of what we rediscovered only centuries later. Others referenced astronomy, theories of a heliocentric solar system, star maps, and planetary orbits far beyond what was accepted in Europe until the Renaissance. There were texts on mathematics and physics, including geometry from Pythagoras, Archimedes, and Indian scholars that hinted at concepts like zero and infinity long before they were mainstream. And then, there were the maps. Whispers remain of scrolls that showed the full shape of Africa, the coast of South America, even Antarctica without ice. How could they have known? Could some ancient civilizations have been more connected than we think? Did they possess technologies, navigation tools, telescopic lenses that we once had, but allowed to slip away? Some believe that the library held documents linking the ancient world to lost civilizations like Atlantis. Even texts that explored energy, frequency, and vibration. Not as mythology, but as science. It's not just about what we lost. It's about what we could have been. And that realization is haunting. The loss of the library wasn't just symbolic. It had consequences, real, measurable, and lasting. After its destruction, the ancient world entered what we now call the Dark Ages, a period where science stagnated, medicine regressed, and progress slowed to a crawl. It took humanity over 1,000 years to recover even a fraction of what might have been known. Techniques once practiced by healers became myths. Mathematical theories were lost. Philosophical frameworks that once shaped minds were erased, or rewritten to fit a new narrative. What if the cure for a major disease was already discovered, but buried in a scroll that turned to ash? What if we could have reached space, not in the 20th century, but in the 12th? We often think of history as a straight line, upward, inevitable. But what if it's more like a loop, with each loop beginning only after the last one has been burned? And here's the unsettling part. The loss wasn't dramatic. There was no single explosion, no final scream, no collapse heard around the world. It was quiet, a slow death of knowledge. Scrolls decayed, shelves emptied, memory faded. No resistance, no outrage, just silence. And maybe that's the scariest part of all. Knowledge doesn't always die in flames. Sometimes it disappears without anyone noticing. So what do we do now? We'll never walk those halls again. We'll never touch those scrolls. The greatest minds of the ancient world spoke, and no one will ever hear them. But maybe, just maybe, not everything was lost. Some knowledge, they say, wasn't destroyed. It was hidden, tucked away in caves, buried beneath temples, locked behind walls that only a few were ever meant to see. And one of those forgotten texts still exists, a book banned from the Bible, a manuscript that tells of fallen angels, forbidden unions, and a celestial war that rewrote the fate of mankind. They said it was too dangerous, too powerful, too real. But we're going to open it. In the next episode of the Forbidden Knowledge series, we reveal the truths inside the Book of Enoch, a scripture so controversial it was erased from history and almost from existence. Subscribe now. Turn on the notifications, because the secrets are just getting started.